These are my two sons, Ethan and Caleb. Ethan is 7 and is in second grade. Pretty soon he will get older and I'll have to have the talk. Yes, I'm talking about the birds and the bees. And part of that talk will be about how his body is changing and what's going to happen when he hits puberty. So this is how I think the talk will go about puberty with my son. So Dad, what's puberty? Well, puberty is the period of maturation during which your sexual organs will mature. It does begin earlier in girls than it does in boys. So girls, puberty starts around age 11 or 12, and boys it begins about 13 or 14. Now these are averages, so it could happen earlier than that, it could happen later than that. And puberty actually begins when the pituitary gland in the brain signals the other glands in the body to start producing sex hormones. So in males, androgens are released, and in females, estrogens are released. So Dad, what kind of changes will I go through? As a boy, your body's going to change gradually during puberty. The primary sex characteristics for boys are the penis and scrotum start to grow quickly at age 12, and the prostate gland and seminal vesicles grow. The secondary sex characteristics are pubic hair, which begins to grow at age 12. You'll start to grow underarm hair and facial hair, and your voice will deepen. What about girls? The onset of puberty in girls is a little bit more obvious than boys because of the onset of menstruation. So the start of menstruation varies depending on the wealth of the country. The more affluent the group within the country, they begin to menstruate earlier. Girls with a higher percentage of body fat also leads to the early menstruation. The primary sex characteristics for girls are menstruation and the development of the reproductive organs. The secondary sex characteristics are breast development around the age of 10 and pubic hair around the age of 11. Dad, if I go through puberty later than everybody else in my class, am I at a disadvantage academically? Well, according to Hurlitz and others, they did a case study on 190 girls and boys aged 12 to 14. And they asked the question, do the sex hormones produced during puberty have an effect on the cognitive development of adolescents? So in their study, they concluded that cognitive performance was not systematically associated with endogenous sex hormones, and that earlier maturers did not have a cognitive advantage over late maturers. So basically, if you mature later, you're not going to have a disadvantage academically. This may be an exaggeration of how it actually goes when I talk to my son about puberty, but he did learn that puberty is the period in which sexual organs mature, and it's different between boys and girls. Of course, girls begin puberty earlier than boys. When you have kids, you wish you could just keep them the same age and never grow up, but that's not going to happen. So at one point, I will have to do this and talk to my son about this, but I'm really not looking forward to it.